We are here at a conference called the Tithi Shashtrarth, which was called by the Draupadi Dream Trust, headed by Srimati Neera Mishra, with the support of various government institutions, including the Indian Council of Historical Research. The goal of this seminar of experts from various disciplines, including astronomy, paleoastronomy, archaeology, epigraphy, history, and other connected fields, is to establish, if not a precise date for the battle of the Mahabharata and the surrounding events, at least to situate it in a given historical context, in a given historical era. At this point, two periods of history are regarded as probable, or even by those who defend this thesis as certain. One is the end of the fourth millennium before the Common Era, that is 3000 something, 3100, 3067, 3100 and something, which corresponds to most of the dates that we find in epigraphic texts and also the tradition. And this date is generally abided and proclaimed by the Hindu text in the various fields of knowledge. On the other hand, you have the archaeology-related dating, which situates Mahabharata battle around the 18th, 17th, or 16th century before the Common Era, which of course has much more plausibility in terms of our knowledge of archaeology and history, because we find that the technologies of that period and the means available, such as certain metals and such as the use of horses to pull chariots, that was already known, and we have now a proof that this technology was available, these various technologies were available in India. Therefore, from the point of view of archaeologists and historians, the second millennium BCE is far more likely than the traditional date of 3000 something BCE. So the interesting question is that this conference will not settle the matter once and for all, but it will isolate at least the two most likely probabilities until such time as new discoveries are made that would allow to gain greater knowledge about when exactly the Mahabharata was fought, and how to situate it in the greater context of world history. In other words, the transition from Paleolithic to Neolithic, the dating and the end of the so-called Harappan civilization, the beginning of the heroic, what you might call the heroic age, and of course, in a larger context, you can also think of, in particular, the so-called demographic bottleneck that took place at the end of the Neolithic, which eliminated a large amount of the population according to genetic testimonies, according to genetic proof or evidence, which indeed would coincide with the Mahabharata, in which a large number of people, probably a majority of the population involved in that region, perished. So that has a certain, I would say, archaeoanthropological significance and validity. So the question remains open, but at least we are narrowing down the focus to the most likely possibilities, because we know that Mahabharata is part of history. It's an itihas. It is not a mithya. It's not a legend. Thank you.